Okay, so I had a little aha with online parties, right? So I, as y'all know, have been doing messenger parties, and I love them. But a lot of people hold back with doing messenger parties because there's a big fear base with them, right? First off, when somebody leaves the group chat, like everybody gets notified, and that's like embarrassing, right? And you're like, you know. And so when we get that so-and-so left the group, like we get that like sinking feeling, like we start focusing on the lack, like how many people are leaving and versus how many people are still staying. You know what I mean? And so that is just completely toxic, and that's a whole other training. But the other fear that people hold back on, will y'all share this in the group chats for anybody who's on? Can y'all share this? Because Facebook notifications are all messed up, and so people are not getting notified that I'm going live. But the other thing that really holds us back with messenger parties is that huge fear that somebody is going to be ugly to us in that chat, right? Like anybody else feel that way? Like drop me a heart emoji, because that is like, drop me a heart emoji in the comments. Because I know for me, that's what happens with me. You know, like that was what held me back. Like I didn't want to do a messenger party because I didn't want someone to be mean to me, right? And so one of my good friends, Molly Bai, I posted like her screenshots of conversation, but somebody was like ripping her apart via PM, right? Somebody was like ripping her apart. Y'all make sure you share this in the team chats, because notifications are messed up, so people have no idea that I'm like even going live and they're missing it. But, so this girl was like ripping her apart. And I mean, she was saying like nasty stuff to her, like completely uncalled for, way out of line, like just ugly things. Right. And I'm not, hey, Maddie. And I won't like, get into all that, but how Molly handled it, like really like resonated and stuck with me. Because for me, my first instinct is like when someone is being like deliberately like calling me names and saying like ugly things, my first instinct is to like attack back, right? It's like a defense thing. But what Molly did was she was just like loved on her. And I was just like so inspired by that. I was like, wow, like it really takes somebody who is, thank y'all so much. Thank you, Lauren. It really takes somebody strong and confident and genuinely wants to uplift and empower others to stand there and read or listen or, be in front of someone who is ripping them to shreds and still telling them that they're worthy and amazing and beautiful, right? And so that just like, that really struck a chord with me. And so anyway, so I had this party that I'd been wanting to do for a while. It's somebody who's like on my, like I've just always really wanted her to join. And she agreed to do a messenger party with me, right? So she adds her friends, and this girl comes in the chat. And when you're in a group chat, like, when someone is like, when you're replying to the group chat, right? Like, when you're replying to the group chat. And so she says, who is this crazy person talking about me? And then tags the hostess so everybody sees it. And then she comes back and comments, and she's like, oops, didn't know I was in the group chat, LMFAO, right? And I was just like, okay, like, my first instinct was like, okay, first off, you're rude. Like, that is so unnecessary. Like, if you don't want to be here, just leave. And I started like playing through all this in my head, right? But then I kind of remembered, how Molly handled that situation. And so I went to one of my leader chats and I was like, y'all, this just happened. Like, I don't even know what to say, and I was still a little like defensive. I was just like, that is so rude. And I can't remember if it was Brittany or Amber, but Brittany or Amber, wasn't it one of y'all gave me this wording, and it was very sweet. It was very kind, and it was just like, hey, so-and-so, I'm Ashley. I'm friends with, hostess name 2. I'm so happy that you're here. It was something along the lines of, I'd love to, is there anything in particular that you'd like to that you'd like to, see. Like, I want to make sure that I touch on that for you, right? Okay, it was Amber. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so good. And so I literally, like, I copied that wording and I put it in the chat, and I sent it to the group chat. And I went to bed and I didn't really think much of it. And the girl in my leader chat was like, Ashley, what happened? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like, I went to bed, like, let me open the chat. And I opened the chat this morning, and I think that there was a little bit of avoidance behavior, right? Like, just that, because remember, y'all, like, my fears for me are like insignificance and like rejection. And so my fear was like, I was avoiding because I didn't want that fear of rejection and insignificance to kind of resurface. So I was just kind of like avoiding the chat. And so I opened it, and lo and behold, the girl was like, she replied back and she said, thank you, but nothing can make this ugly face better. Thanks anyway. And she leaves the group chat. And I was like, like my heart kind of broke, like I went from like feeling like I wanted to tear her down, right? Which is so ugly of me, like, ew, disgusting. But that's my defense thing, like, after I moved in high school, I went from, having a ton of friends and being very well liked to, another town where people like fake liked me. And then I broke up with, my football captain, whatever, boyfriend, because he was, anyway. And then things kind of changed, right? And so I was just like my defenses kicked in, but then I kind of remembered, like, okay, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to build others, right? So I replied back in the chat, even though I knew she wasn't there, because obviously it said like so-and-so left. I knew she wasn't there, but I replied back to the chat anyway, because I don't know, like I just kind of felt like there was someone there that needed to see what I was going to say. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of, I just told her that she was beautiful and never tear herself down because she's so used to her features that she doesn't even realize how gorgeous she is, right? And so that was just kind of what I said. And then I decided that I was going to personally message her because I felt so awful that she was like just tearing herself down. Like, so she went to attack me, right? And it wasn't like an outright attack. It wasn't like she was like, oh, this XYZ, blah, blah, blah. But it was more of it was kind of like a mean girl type move, right? She was like, who is this crazy person? Like she says it in front of everybody. You know what I mean? To try it. And I don't know what her reason is. I don't know why, but I knew that I could either stoop to her level and tear her back, right? Which I could have done, how would that have made me look? You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't have done anything. Or I could encourage her and uplift her and actually like abide by our mission, right? So that's what I did. And so I sent her a message. Oh, woo! Sorry. So I sent her a personal message, and I just whatever I said in the chat is the same thing that I sent to her. And I messaged the hostess and I was like, hey, would you tell, so-and-so that I sent her a message? And she was like, honestly, she's so like, she's always like this to everybody. And I was like, I hate that for her, like I like that. Oh, that's awful. Like, I hate that for her. And she was like, she's really ugly to a lot of people. And I just kind of explained to her, I was just like, like, I'm glad that happened. And she apologized. She was like, I'm so sorry. Like, she shouldn't have done that. That's just how she is. And I was like, like, she may have not done that, but people who attack others and say ugly things to others outright, 99.999% of the time are coming from a place of hurt themselves. And that was kind of what Molly went back to. If y'all have a chance, just search Molly Bye, BYE. And look at that conversation. Like, she really, I mean, it wasn't just like one comment, it was like a lot of nasty comments. And at the end, she was able to pull from her, like, her fears. And so I was just kind of doing some reflecting, and I realized that people being added into beauty groups, they may be leaving because this is an insecurity that is resurfacing for them, right? Maybe they've been told that they were ugly, not beautiful, not worthy. And so us doing these beauty classes, this may be a pain point, a trigger point for them, right? And so there was a couple things that just kind of stuck out to me. The first was to always make sure that you are replying to others with love. Okay? Like, always. Like, and I'm not saying you guys have to be perfect. Like, you know, I mean, I know, like, I'm like a tough love type person, and I still have to, like, check myself on that, you know? But I think that it's something that we can all still be conscious of. You know what I mean? When we're replying to others. And the second thing that I think I just felt that I needed to, like, come on and talk to you guys about this is that in your parties, when you're starting your parties, we go in with these parties and we create these perfect scripts, and we create these perfect pictures and videos and images and wording, and we focus so much on that. But maybe we should start our parties uplifting others. So instead of a welcome video, like, hey guys, my name's Ashley, I'm so excited that you're here, and I still think that that's important, but maybe we start with, like, something more like, first of all, I'm so excited that you're here. You are beautiful. That's the first thing that you need to know. Second, you know what I mean? Like, more of like a uplifting others. And maybe we can kind of take those pain points, those people leaving. And I'm not saying, like, I mean, yeah, people do leave groups and chats. You know, maybe they just don't want to be in them. But I really like this whole thing. And even with, like the people that tell you, like, no, they're not interested, my bet is it's more of a pain point for them, you know? And so I just thought that this was a really good learning tool to look at, just look at how we're leading in with these parties. Don't focus so much on those sales, but really focus on how we can make others feel better. And that really goes hand in hand with our relationships and our marketing and all of that. So that was just kind of like my little aha, is to lead more with building others up rather than selling the products. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but so I think for this party, I'm actually going to as I just redid my online party script, but this whole situation in this instant, I really think that for some reason, I just feel like this is going to be something that I have to change now. And so I think that I'm going to be winging this party, building these girls up every day. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe you are beautiful and you are worthy type quote. Maybe I'll do like a makeup look or something looking down. I don't know. I've got to think more on it, but I don't know. Something just told me that I needed to come in here and share that with you guys, because as soon as it happened, I was like, this girl is so rude, and like, I felt my pain point and my trigger start coming. But if you can just stop and take a step back and look at it from someone else's perspective, I mean, we can't judge people. I found myself judging her and saying how rude she was and how inconsiderate she was. But it's different when you kind of step back and think of it like, I don't know the pain that she's felt. I don't know the rivers that she's walked through. I don't know the mountains that she's had to climb. And when you lead from that, I think it really, really helps. So I just wanted to come on here and share that with y'all. Thank y'all for jumping on. I will talk to you guys in a little bit. I hope y'all are having an amazing day. I'm about to go take my sister to Jacksonville and go to dinner with Sarah Benson Miller. So I will see y'all later. Mwah. Bye, girls.